So let's look at what we do know, because there certainly are a lot of things that we can talk about tonight. So let's start with the sun first. Let me close in for you. But before we even get there, I should talk about the elemental balance. So over here on the right, you're going to see that we have a number of categories that are listed. And you'll see them over here on the right. I'm highlighting them. And they represent fire, earth, air, and water. They represent the number of planets that are in fire signs, earth signs, air signs, and water signs. Now, as I look at Alysa Liu's chart, that first column, you're going to see 4, 3, 2, and 1. You should know that when we're looking at the elemental balance of a chart, we're trying to figure out of what element is most prominent and least prominent. I'm going to circle the fact that we have one water sign planet in the chart. And the reason I'm going to do that is because we know that that particular planet's going to be important. It's the only water sign planet in astrology. We call that a singleton. And because it's a singleton, it's the only water sign planet in the chart, it gets extra attention. So immediately we're going to be looking at the water sign planet in the chart. And in this case, the water sign planet, the singleton, is actually going to be here, Alysa Liu's Uranus in Pisces. Okay. So that's the one planet that is a water sign planet. Wow, I cannot really draw stars tonight. Anyway, this planet is going to be important purely, for a lot of reasons, but purely because we have only that one water sign planet, and so it's going to stick out. So that's what we call an elemental singleton, a planet that shows up, and it's the only planet that is in that particular element. Now, as we've talked about before, in astrology, every sign of the zodiac has two pieces. We have a element, which we just discussed, and we have a modality, cardinal, fixed, or mutable. Cardinal signs are the ones that begin every season. Fixed signs are the ones that anchor every season, and mutable signs are the ones that end every season and transition into the next one. So right now, for example, we are in the sun sign of Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, but it is a mutable. It is the mutable water sign. Every sign of the zodiac is a unique combination of one element and one quality. Now, in Alysa Liu's chart, we also have another singleton, but in this case, it's actually a modality singleton. It is cardinal. It is the one cardinal planet that she has. Okay? You're going to see it here. And that's important too, because if you have a lot of cardinal energy in a chart, you tend to have more of a leadership role. You tend to be more assertive. If you have more fixed energy, you tend to be more stubborn. You want to take on long-term projects. You want to develop things. If you have more mutable energy, you're much more of a follower type. Doesn't mean you can't lead, but it means that likely your job is going to be checking tasks off the list, and that's what you're going to be comfortable with. In Alysa Liu's chart, we have one cardinal sign. Again, it is one cardinal planet. It's a singleton, and it's going to be Jupiter in Libra. Libra is a cardinal sign. It's the sign that begins the fall. And so we have one planet that is in a cardinal sign. So the elemental balance is important, folks. What do we have a lot of? Well, we've talked about what we don't have, but what we have a lot of is fire energy. We have 4 fire planets here. And we have 5 planets in fixed signs. And this is something that is incredibly important. So we call Taurus, for example, the most fixed sign of the zodiac. There's a reason for that. It's because Taurus is by far the most determined. You could also use the term stubborn. Sorry, Taurus folks, but that's how we look at it. We're just going to call it the most fixed, okay? Depends on how you want to use the energy, but it's the most fixed sign of the zodiac. Fixed signs stick. They stay. They tend to have the same opinions. They tend to want to do the same things. They like routine. They like developing things. Those things are important to them. If I look at Alysa Liu's chart and see 5 fixed planets, 5 planets in fixed signs, folks, this is a very determined person. Half of the planets are in fixed signs. This is not a person whose determination or ability to reach a goal is in question. This is someone who is very driven, dogged, use your own adjective, but there it is. Okay, so we already know a lot about Alysa Liu, and that is that she is very assertive. She has a lot of fire energy. We've seen how she is on television. She's a very warm person. She's quite an assertive person, but she also is someone who is very driven and determined to get to her goal, which she did. So that's in a chart. One of the first things we want to look at is how the elements and the modalities are split up, because that helps us identify singleton planets. In this case, we have two. We have Uranus in Pisces, which is a water sign, and of course we have Jupiter in Libra, which is an air sign, but it is a cardinal air sign. So we got two singletons already to talk about. But let's see how far we get on her chart tonight. We have a lot of other things to talk about before we get there, so let's do it.